You are living in the most dangerous time in American history.
We won't take a single back step.
Former professional basketball player is now the Republican Party's choice.
Can you imagine Royce White, the U.S. Senator?
White won the endorsement on May 18th with 67% of the vote.
There's nothing that guarantees we win, but I guarantee you if we lose, we will die. Good evening. Welcome back to another episode of Please Call Me Crazy, brought to you by Free People Radio and powered by our favorite sponsor, TireGet.com. That's TireGet.com. You have to buy tires from somebody, you might as well buy them from us. Help support the movement, help fund the movement. We believe in the freedom of movement, and that's exactly what the establishment wants to take from you now. I'm your host, Royce White, here in the belly of the beast, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And this is episode 267. Today we have another incredible family and friends Hebroes edition.
Hebroes.
Of Please Call Me Crazy. The great Professor Penn is back in studio with us as promised. Welcome back, sir.
Glad to be here with you. The joy for me will be as it's the first time we've had a chance to talk to each other for quite some time.
Yeah, the Hebroes, much anticipated, long awaited. We've been promising for a few weeks now, and now we finally got you back in the studio, which is a great thing. Well, let's just dive. I mean, there's so much to talk about since the last Hebrews we did.
Pick a card. Any card will do.
Any card. Shit. Oh, man, this could be dive. But, well, let's start with Epstein.
Oh, man.
Epstein for 500, please. No. We'll start right there. Because last time we were here, we were talking about Israel-Iran. That was just sort of bubbling up. And then we...
it's still bubbling.
It's still... proceed.
The French defense minister, probably not making Donald Trump happy, came out yesterday and said, wait. They really didn't get all that enriched uranium.
Yeah.
So the drums are pounding again now. And every day there's another little press release or a leak that Israel and the United States are preparing to attack Iran once again. So let's enjoy our moments of peace and prosperity, and let us continue here in the America First movement to advocate for policies that are, for lack of a better term, anti-war. Now, I got a lot of crap, man, from a lot of my...
Did they call you anti-Semitic?
Not for a while. Haven't heard that one for a while.
Okay.
But, people have a hard time calling me anti-Semitic because I'm Jewish.
Right.
And so it does kind of sound strange, right? And I tell people, I love the Jewish people, and I really do not want to see another genocide. And that's the stop loss down on the whole deal. If we don't do this, all the Jews in Israel are going to die. Yeah. So that affects me also. It's like, well, wait a second here now. But what has happened to me over the last several years, I would say since about 2022, is I've progressively been embracing my American citizenship. And I've been coming to terms with the fact that my ancestor, I got two cousins on the West Bank with Uzis. They've been killing Arabs since they've been about 15 years old. I grew up with these kids. It's my first cousins. And they went to Israel. And I always felt guilty about that because I was over here. I said this, it's kind of funny. I was talking about it on my podcast. And I said, these people are sending me pictures from the West Bank, and they're all dressed up carrying them Uzis, and I'm driving around in my Chrysler Cordoba with the Corinthian leather. And I'm thinking, man, that's not right. I should be over there with my cousins defending the faith. And then I realized that my grandfathers came here because they didn't want to do that. They knew what was going on. They knew if they took that card off the deck, they were going from the frying pan of the Ukraine into the fire of Palestine. Yeah. And they said, wait a second. We're getting killed here by these Ukrainians, and the Russians are coming and raping us and robbing us. Why are we going to go over there and fight with these Muslims? I want to be in America.
Milk and honey.
That's right. I want to practice freedom of religion, but what I really want is economic freedom.
Yeah.
And they came here, and they
and to live in a land where you're not hunted and persecuted. I mean, as much talk as there is about the rise of anti-Semitism, I think America as a nation has been one of the more friendly to the Jews, the Jewish people,
friendliest
in world history. We have actually been, the claim that anti-Semitism is on the rise in America is somewhat comical. I mean, by far, America has been the friendliest nation to the Jewish people throughout world history.
Can I give you a story? I think the viewers will like this. I only experienced two, maybe one minor. I was calling a guy one time, and he said, do you mind if I Jew you down?
Wow.
That was the extent of all the anti-Semitism I had experienced in my entire life. I guess till when? Till I joined the Republican Party in Minnesota. And then, boy, racism and anti-Semitism abounded, and I was stunned. And, it was hilarious because when my mother, I've talked about my mother a little bit, and, I've talked with you about her. She is a leftist extraordinaire. And when I said, Mom, I'm joining the Republican Party in Minnesota, here's what she said to me. She said, you're a token
Jew.
And I said to her, what do you mean? Because I didn't even get it.
Yeah.
She said, don't you know how those people think about us? And I said, I know all these people. They love me. Everything's good. This is before, things came out in the open, right?
Yeah.
And I was super mad at her. And then we went through a couple of years of this, that, thus, and so.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the name of that dude down in CD5 Republicans? I can't remember his name.
Sean Holster.
That guy. Remember when he posted up that just incredible racist and anti-Semitic stuff, and then the party protected him? That was just one. I won't even get into the several people who used I'm not going to use the word, but the N-word, referring to you. And then my immediate response was, that must mean you feel that way about me too.
Mm-hmm.
After I went to my mother, I said, Mom.
Yeah, you do look rather black for a white man.
You don't know the half of it. Anyhow, I went to my mom.
Hebroes, ladies and gentlemen, Hebroes.
I went to my mother. I said, Mom, I owe you an apology because you were right about this.
Mm-hmm.
And, my feeling about the Republican Party, because, of course, now relative to the Epstein issue, the Iran issue, now they're going to rearm the Ukraine. Our party is suffering some very low. President Trump is suffering his lowest poll numbers. And it's quite evident to me that the party has a potential to fracture into bits.
Yeah.
We could snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory here. And the issue is, what is going to unify?
Snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory. Yeah, that's troubling.
Well, because, first of all, let's just be clear about this. The allegation is we're a cult. Shit, we can't. We
can't agree on anything.
2 Republicans in a room, 3 opinions. I mean,
sure.
Bad as Jews. It's crazy. So, my point.
Well, I think. Well, I was cautioning and warning against this 4 years ago. I was saying that the Republican Party has to get its ducks in a row, has to get itself in order, because the left is ideologically aligned, and you got your more centrist Democrats, let's say what you would call centrist Democrats, the very few and far between who are willing to defect from the party line. You got Fetterman, who's like, hey, wait a second, can we use can we sprinkle a little common sense on our psychopathy?
Lurch.
Yeah, can we sprinkle a little bit of common sense on our crazy? And then you got people like Dean Phillips, who tried his best to.
They drummed him out of the party.
Tried his best to plant a moderate flag, a truly genuine moderate flag.
Although when he voted,
he voted
the party line.
Of course, but I'm just saying, even as far as the narrative goes.
I mean, Joe Manchin, same thing.
I mean, yeah.
But when it came down to the vote,
they were left. And this is the thing. I said this on my show the other day. I keep saying that AIPAC is the greatest example of the contradiction under the surface of the Republican Party. So, because at one level, you'll have all of these Republican, people, Republican Party officers, Republican politicians, Republican, whoever, donors, they all like the narrative from Fox News is that look at these radical Democrats, look at all of the Somalis in Minnesota. It's ridiculous, and it's just like, yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. The Somali influx started during George Bush. It's kind of apropos to what I'm saying in the first place. But the fear porn is as good as it's ever been, but yet we are willing to be in a sort of financial, uh, partnership
Consortium.
through APAC, and it's just like, well, then you're not really as opposed to the Democrat policies as you say. It's like if I'm opposed to, I live on 98th Street, and on 99th Street, I am just 1000% opposed to those fuckers over on 98th Street. I mean, I don't like the way they do business. I don't agree with their worldview. I think that they're evil. I even say that they're evil. My table talk at home in the dining room is these people are utterly evil and un-American. They want us dead. They
They're
want to destroy us.
Antichrist.
They're Antichrist. And then all of a sudden, you get to your APAC
We're all in the same payroll.
committee and you go, well, we're sharing money. We're supporting each other. It's like, no. No.
I have to comment on this
Okay.
because there was you were copied in this post. There was a Substack that one young Republican activist put up, and he talked about you extensively, and he said that, you have huge support in Minnesota, particularly outstate, but that your presentation in everyday life alienated Minnesota nice. And his point was Minnesota nice ain't so nice. It's really just passive aggressive.
Who is this?
John, I'll show it to you.
I didn't see it.
I'll show it. It's great. I'm going to
Sounds
respond to
great.
it. Oh, he wrote a long Substack.
Love alienating Minnesota nice. I love being the first Minnesotan to throw my balls on the table.
But you know what the
It's great.
point was? And he was very complimentary about your politics, but what he said was very interesting to me. But I know what the truth of this is. Criticizing you for swearing is the biggest psyop cover story.
It's a tell.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What the real fear is, and what we're doing here on Free People Radio, it's a little bit like Morpheus and Neo hacking into the Matrix, because what we're really saying is that the basic evil emanates from that center, and that's what you're talking about. That consortium of Democrats and Republicans that act opposed, but when it comes to $4 trillion of spending, they're good.
Yeah.
We're all our hands across the aisle,
Yeah.
right? And
It's like, yeah, we hate each other, but come on, we love each other.
well, but it's we've got this empire. It is an empire, and we are expert at killing. That's what we do. What does Republican Party of Minnesota do? It's backing, not tacitly, overtly backing Kendall Qualls, who is ex-military, Adam Schwartzy, SEAL, ex-military, and
Agency.
Plekish, ex-military. And this, if you're a veteran, I am not saying that this is any lack of respect for those that serve. I am saying that we have a problem in the party because
When all fails, the Republican Party reverts back to our default position is we're comfortable with America being
an empire,
a killing business.
We're in the 5% of jobs here in Minnesota are defense industry related. Our entire budget federally is related to the medical establishment and the military establishment.
Which are equally good at killing, by the way.
Seems to be, yes, I agree. And I'm thinking to myself, why do they not like Royce White? Well, what does Royce want? Royce wants real addressing of the mental health issue, which is not about drugs. It's about
radical materialism.
It's about culture.
Yeah.
It's about, we want to address the cultural issues of which politics is part of it, like a thermometer. We want to make the people well. We want the politics focused on the peace and prosperity of the American people. And that is in conflict with that center.
Yeah.
So they say, oh, Royce, you swear, my gosh.
Yeah.
And here's another thing, and I pointed this out.
The question is, the scary thing is, if I quit swearing, how long do you think it would be before the sexual allegations surfaced?
Well,
because I actually think that the profanity has been a benefit. The profanity has served
as
a
diversion.
My profanity has served as a point for them to focus on, where they don't try to create things about me out of
Oh,
thin
you're
air.
getting into the heart of racism
Yeah.
now, because I brought this up on last Thursday's Professor Penn podcast, where I redacted some interviews with Adam Schwartzy, and he was on with Jake Duesenberg on The Truth Hurts, which you're there frequently. It's a great podcast.
Yep.
And Jake asked him
Those
about
pesky A4L guys.
yeah, and they asked Adam about his girlfriend, who he's living in sin with, which, that's none of my business. I don't care what he's doing in his personal life. And that went on by, and everybody just smiled, and it was no problem. But actually, what's the difference between you being divorced
Yeah.
and Adam living with a woman he's not married to? What's the difference? Theologically, zero.
Well,
Or-
actually, the difference is, as the Bible would say, and we have big scriptural problems, obviously, in the Republican Party, Christian community. As the Bible would say, once you are married, you remain married until you die. That's a heavy theological idea for some people to wrestle with, but there's a specific way that divorces have to be annulled, and it's I'll say this: the government saying you're now divorced in a corrupt court of law is not the theological satisfaction of divorce by God's law.
doesn't that go to the Pope if you want to get that done
Hey,
correctly?
listen, if you're married Catholic,
Yeah.
so and even me having kids by multiple women, and I don't know if Adam Schwartz.
I have kids by multiple women, but
Most people
nobody
who are married
critici-
and divorced do.
Nobody criticizes me
Right.
because I have 5 kids with 2 women. Because guess what?
Hmm.
Number 1, I'm not running for U.S. Senate.
True.
But number 2, even if I was, it's acceptable for me.
But Trump has kids by multiple women.
Trump was crazy. I mean, we'd go right down the Epstein hole. But, if you're white and uptight, it's all right. But if you're black and young and militant, if you stop swearing, you're right.
That doesn't even bother me. I mean,
it's ridiculous.
The grundoons of the Republican Party can do their best to what we would call in the neighborhood when talking to young black men. Don't perpetuate the stereotype. I see a young black man walking through the neighborhood with his pants hanging off his ass. I say, pull your fucking pants up, man. You look ridiculous. It's not cool.
I was walking last night in my neighborhood, and there was a young man who was struggling with what was obvious transgender issues.
Okay.
And I walked by him
It's
once.
a different road
No,
you're going
but
down.
you know what
go
I
ahead.
wanted to say? I didn't do it because I'm still constrained, but I wanted to sit and talk to him and say, come on. But, when you go that far, it wouldn't have gone out good. And even for the fact that I thought it, I was checking over my shoulder as I was walking away. But my point about this is, first of all, this is the part that bothers me. I've told you this before. These people that judge against you for the swearing and for the personal life, they're all my age. I grew up with them. They're hiding a lot of skeletons in the closet. Now, I'm not going to say that there isn't 1 or 2 in the state that married their high schools. Maybe there's 12, married their high school sweetheart, been married the whole time.
Maybe there's 30%.
Oh, you're being way too generous. You weren't there, baby.
I wasn't.
No, I was there.
Yeah.
So these people that come up to me, these women that come up to me and say, oh, well, we wish Royce wouldn't swear. Baby, didn't I see you at the club in 1979? Aren't you that girl? Because, they were that girl and that guy. I mean, these people are all married now and going to church on Sunday. That's not the way it was in 1983. I guarantee you. We had gone wild. So for us to sit and judge you, that's just what we would call denied guilt. And that needs to stop because it's bad for us personally. That's called pointing out the cinder in your eye and ignoring the log in my eye. I don't do that. But beyond that, aren't we to the point now where we understand that what people do in their personal lives with women reflects the existential crisis of life going back to the garden, and may or may not, and probably doesn't, have that much to do with public policy? I don't think it has that much to do. I know there's some people that have been legitimate. I haven't. And what is legitimate? I mean, my God, Adam gave up on God for Eve. I mean, come on, this is a big problem for men and for women too. if we judged everybody like they want to judge you, woo, there's a problem with that.
Well, I mean, people don't. I mean, the whole problem with it is, and this goes back to the Israel Iran, uh, topic is it's become very clear that we have a crisis of Christian theology, not faith. I mean, you could say you believe in Jesus Christ, you have faith in Jesus Christ,
Or
but
you can say anything.
we have a crisis of faith. I mean, of theology, where our theology is just so loose.
How far you want to go with this?
Well, I mean, it just there is sin according to nature, and then first of all, you got to distinguish if you even believe in sin. I mean, I kind of get the feeling that my Protestant brothers and sisters don't really believe in sin, and that's almost a non-starter. I mean, as though there's no mention of sin in the scripture.
Well, let's break it down into some groups.
Wait a second, and then so it's like, well, if you believe in sin, there is sin according to nature, and then there is sin contra to nature. And even the men who, even the men, and I always say that the predicate for abortion were all of these, um, Christian Bible thumpers who had made their uh, communities feel, let's say, ashamed about their sexual impulses, and as a consequence, young women found themselves either getting pregnant or having some relationship outside of the accepted norm in their community, and all of a sudden there's the abortion, right? And somehow the abortion was squared away, and there was a racial mix in there, right? I mean, a young white woman ventured on over into the Badlands, let's say, and then ended up having a romance with a young black man, and dad's not going to like
Oh,
her,
wait,
or
so-
the community's not going to accept, and then all of a sudden you got an abortion there, and it was in a Christian community, but there was a justification for that because we just can't have you having a child by this Negro, right? And I'm not saying that was always the case, because it was just as similar if a young white woman met a young white man and it wasn't in marriage, that it was outside of marriage, because the reputation of the family or the pastor and so my point is, we made all these concessions around all these things that really were uh, anti-Christian down to the root, and we did it in the name of, like, these are venial sins. Sins that are sins uh that are of nature, like having a child, even if it's outside of wedlock. To have a child is better than to kill a child.
Obviously, right?
Well, it's not so obvious no more. I mean, because we make the justification all across the board. I mean, we're a military industrial complex empire. The whole thing is predicated on us killing people, wholesale. So
Life is cheap.
Life is very
In
cheap.
Casablanca.
Yeah,
Use that.
yeah. So it's just like, I I see it and I go, it doesn't bother. That's why it doesn't bother me. It's because my shit is sorted out, like intellectually, philosophically, spiritually. My shit is way more sorted out than these people. I meet these people and I go, you really think your Christian identity is based on whether or not you use profanity? Okay. I always ask the question, why are you so supportive of the military then? Like, if profanity is a hard line you're going to draw, we all know that the military is using profanity every day. They use profanity when they train. They use profanity in the combat. They use profanity when they come home. Like, why are you guys in such league in support of the military? It's okay. Oh, it's okay to use profanity if they're protecting you, if they're saving your life, if they're allowing you to continue on the life that you want to lead, the convenience that you feel.
The safety.
If it's for you, if it's for me, rules for thee, not for me, right? And it's just like you can't even bring that up to people. They shut down because the contradiction's so heavy, they can't
And then
confront
they
it.
judge against the person that brings the
They
truth.
judge against the
Which
person
goes
who
back
brings
to
it
where
up.
we
That's right.
started. It's not about the swearing.
Like
it's-
Donald Trump, all the Christians gonna now not support Donald Trump because he used the word fuck on the lawn there at the White House?
Oh, he was pissed. The real Donald Trump came out.
Are people not going to support Trump now? Does anybody think that Donald Trump didn't use profanity in his personal life? So, I mean, the profanity thing is, again, it's just a way for them to say, we don't really want to have to support a young black, athlete jock who seems to know way too much about geopolitics for my comfortability because he always brings it up. And I'd rather talk about the Somalis, And it's like, cool, we can talk about the Somalian community. That's fine. I can tell you where the Somali immigration started. It goes right back to George Bush. Same George Bush, whose judge appointee is now blocking Donald Trump on the birthright citizenship. I mean, it's just, they people are uncomfortable with the truth. And it just so happens that I'm the way that I am, and that makes people uneasy. But the litmus test is, and I ask Democrats this all the time. I say, okay, let's concede that it's Donald Trump. You don't like Trump. What would the Democrat Party have to do? What would they have to say? What would have to happen for you to vote Republican? If the answer is there's nothing that could happen that would make you or bring you to vote Republican, then you're an ideologue. You're captured. You know that you don't have an ounce of honesty and integrity left in you. Now you could say, hey, I'd vote independent or I would abstain from voting. Okay, that's cool. But what set of circumstances would allow you to bring yourself to consider voting Republican? If the answer is nothing,
You're a communist.
you're a commie. That's
Right.
right. Yeah. And
A globalist
the
communist.
same thing goes for the Republicans. For people who say, well, I'll never vote Democrat again. And I said it actually online. I was being facetious and sort of dramatic. But, and I guess I probably have more, what you would say is more of a legitimate grounds to say that I'm not voting Democrat because I have such a, a, a cultural history with the Democrat Party lying to black people. So, but for your average American citizen to say, or a Republican to say, I'd never vote Democrat again, based on what? Okay, what would need to happen for you to vote Democrat again? What would need to happen for you to vote Democrat, independent? Okay, now we're going to have the American Party with Elon Musk. We'll get there in a moment, but it doesn't bother me. The whole anti-Royce, energy. I just laugh at it. I seriously, I see it online and I go, you're fucking corny. Yeah, if you don't support the truth, that's on you.
Well,
And if enough
that-
people in America don't support the truth, which number one is categorically true of our recent American history, we don't place a premium on the truth. If we did, we wouldn't be where
But
we are.
we've made so much progress. There's been so much.
Ah.
There's been so no.
No.
There has been.
No,
Yep.
no, I'm
yep.
not.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep. 2022.
No.
You stood up in front of
No.
the community and you declared for Congress and used the word globalism,
Yeah.
and they called you an anti-Semite.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we talk about globalism, and everybody knows what it is. Not everybody, but a lot of people know what it is. A lot of people, right?
Look. Hold on. Wait a second. No.
No?
Let me set this straight here.
No?
No.
We're not making progress?
No.
Great.
No. We have transferred the resent, the regret, the fear, the anxiety, the guilt of our apathy onto another medium. The stopgap for the apathy is Donald Trump and the MAGA movement, the MAGA movement. Oh, well, we're going to support Donald Trump and RFK Jr., and those are the only two people I follow on X. So I really support them, though, right? We're going to follow, and that's going to solve our issues.
Oh, can I say something, please, right
Yes,
here?
Yes.
This is for our friend Dan Schultz, who has been coming into my podcast and getting frustrated. So I want to say about this apathy.
Mhm.
If you happen to be watching this podcast, if you're among the 25,000 people that are watching this tonight, some of you might not be apathetic. Some of you might want to go beyond entertainment because we're trying to be entertaining, and this is an entertainment medium and an information medium. Some of you might want to become activists because without the activists, the communists will win. Because guess what? They're not in it for fun. They're in it for power. And if we don't oppose them, they will kill the Christians.
Yeah.
So let's just say there's some people out here listening who really want to get down. Join your local Republican Party committee, wherever you are in the country. Join it. Become active. Vote. Endorse America First candidates like Royce White. We're trying to do this here in Minnesota. We want people to join the party. We want to work with them. We want to help them because the party's a secret society, right? They don't want us to know how it works. Did you see what happened to Ken Paxton yesterday?
No.
Ken Paxton's wife came out and said, "Oh, surprise, he's running for Senate against Rhino extraordinaire John Cornyn." one of the worst. He's at the Tom Tillis, Lindsey Graham level. And Paxton's a G down there.
Yeah.
Well, like a lot of G's, he's got a lot of appetites. And he got caught. And Mama, right in the middle of his Senate campaign, were getting divorced and exposed his indelicacies.
What?
I mean, I don't read it because I'm not into gossip, but I think the allegation is he was having an affair. Okay?
Okay.
So guess what? The NRSC, the Republican Senate Committee, came right out for John Cornyn and impugned Paxton and John Thune, House, Senate Majority Leader. Oh, John Cornyn's our guy. So this is what they do. I mean, Paxton was so impressive. And they found that weakness. And down there in Texas, because we're getting down to the Bible Belt down there, I have my contacts in Texas. I talked to him before he came on. He's done. It's all over for him down there.
He's the governor, though.
No, he's the Attorney General.
Attorney General.
Attorney General.
Yeah.
And he's been a great Attorney General. He's done a lot of great things. And they found
Abbott's the governor.
Abbott's the governor. But this is just part and parcel with what we're talking about.
Yeah. Sexual politics.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Corny.
It's just, it is. And I'm just going to have to say, if you are without sin, then you're going to be forgiving because you're truly a Christian and you're going to forgive the people because everybody's on this walk. But I want to just tell you a quick story because you're going to laugh about this because you're talking about how if a black man hooks up with a young white girl and there's an love child, right? Let me tell you how it went down in my generation.
How'd it go down?
Okay, so I was going to elementary school when busing started.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention the names because who knows, they could be listening. But I remember well the first 4 black students that were bused into my Highland Park area, St. Paul, where I was going to school. And 2 of those people, the boys, 2 girls and 2 boys, of course, because Hebrew, they were both my best friends. I used to go over to Reggie's house every weekend, right?
Yeah.
Reggie went to prison. But anyhow, the other dude, whose name I won't mention, he had a love child with one of the prettiest girls in the high school. I think it was 8th grade. You know what happened to them? They both permanently disappeared. We never saw them again, either one of them.
Shit.
Things got a little easier 20 years downstream. But in those days, hey, we weren't that far from hanging people. They actually disappeared both these kids out of the high school. Never to be heard from again. Ever. Disappeared.
Really?
I'm talking about a friend of mine. Disappeared. I don't know where he went.
8th grade.
8th grade. Maybe it was 9th grade. It was not high school. It was junior high. A love child. I like how you said that because that's what it was. Yeah. So I'm telling you, that's the way it was when I was growing up.
The reason I say we haven't gotten, it's not getting better. Is there a movement of people? Is there a movement, a conversation happening? Yeah, but see, the problem with time is shit catches up with you. If I put that simple enough, problem is shit catches up with you, right? Your mistakes and your flaws, they become fatal, and you may have an aha moment.
Satchel Paige, don't look back, something could be catching up. Yeah.
Hey, you can have an aha moment, but at the wrong time, enough shit catches up with you. There's this great saying, a lot of people have these transformative moments right when the cell doors close behind them. It's like, shit, why the fuck did I do that? That was stupid. As a matter of fact, my whole life, what was I thinking? Now I could have been doing this, I could have been doing that. But it takes for you to have a great fall and failure in order for that to click. And right now, we're asking questions we should have asked 30 years ago. You could say better late than never, fine. But we have to thread a needle here. That's why people like Bannon seem so extreme to the average American citizen. All right. I mean, well, let's say to the average non-participating American viewer, right? Or let's say the mainstream media or whoever. It seems extreme because, they call him panicking. He's panicking. Oh, these people are being dramatic. It's not dramatic. We're just now asking basic questions we should have asked 30 years ago, but we didn't because we were caught in the convenience. We were caught up in the, living high on the hog. We were caught up in the high life. And so when you finally start to ask those questions 30 years late, and you think there's going to be no ramifications, like time just stops, like all the bad mistakes you made and the things that have been set in motion aren't going to continue to progress. And that's what we're seeing with the deep state now. To bring it to what we started talking about, Jeffrey Epstein, that's what we're seeing. We are asking the right questions. Donald Trump is a symbol of America's desire to change its political circumstance, to change its political landscape. But still, the things that were put in motion many years ago, including what you could say is Mossad or the overreach of the intelligence community from here to Tel Aviv or beyond, even to London or wherever else. These things are starting to catch up now to where uh, the narrative, the trust, the credibility is breaking. It's breaking down, and rightfully so. I mean, the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, and I said on my podcast, look, we could make the argument, hey, if there's a Inuaki, right, there's a extraterrestrial race species that has been in contact with the blackout government for 70 years, and there are some existential threats to the earth itself, to mankind, to there are things that we don't understand happening in the universe. I hear the story that
Every
there's
5,000-6,000 years, some
yeah,
big things go down.
there's some, reverse gravitational polarity thing where the gravitational pull or poles, the magnetic poles shift.
Flood.
Not only flood, yeah, tsunamis that are 1,000 feet high, literally wash over all land. Okay, fine, cool. You don't believe in Christ? That the Romans had documentation of him, literally walking, talking, and being crucified. You don't believe in Christ, but you believe in this 6,000-year-old folklore. Okay, fine, I can go there with you. I'm not saying that there's not some strange shit I see in the sky, and there's some strange shit that other people have reported, people who are very credible, they're not crazy. And we don't know exactly what it is. And if we accept one version that there is something happening in our universe that's much bigger than our everyday lives in America, okay, Epstein does become a speed bump. Really. I mean, and that's just a hierarchy of priority. Like I said, if I had a tummy ache, I say I got gastritis, I have stomach issues, acid reflux and shit. And then all of a sudden I get in a car accident, I break my clavicle. You'd be surprised how fast you don't think about the gastritis, right? So there is hierarchy of priority and crisis. Number one, our own politics here in this country. Like, yeah, no, Israel's cool. We can be friends and allies, and we can support them. And our friends there in Europe, okay. The Commonwealth, okay, fine, but not when we let 10 million people come across our own border, and the fentanyl is pouring in by the boatload. Priorities. There's nothing wrong with priorities. The same thing can be said on a global scale, right? The problem with it is we don't have any transparency about the global crisis. In fact, it's to the contrary. All of the conversation about global crisis has been clearly manipulated, like climate change, for example. It's become so ridiculous and watered down that people are more distrusting of the idea that there are superseding priorities than they are in belief. So then when an Epstein comes down, people are like, well, wait a second. Uh, what's a bigger priority than a multinational political elite, political and financial elite that are preying on underage girls, on kids. And not only the fact that how morally debauched that is, again, I mean, the guy had a what do they call it? A replica of an Israeli temple on his island. Epstein.
I hadn't heard that one.
You didn't seen it?
No.
No, on Epstein Island, there's a replica of the temple in Israel on his island. Like,
You mean like the Western Wall type of a thing?
no, I wish we could pull it up, but it's a Jewish temple. I mean, it's obvious. It's a Jewish
Wait a second. If it was on Epstein Island, let's just call it something else.
Israeli.
Whatever.
Well,
Because, the whole point of
the point is that it was intended.
that was satanic. The
It was
point,
intended to be a signal.
right.
It
but
was intended to be. It was intended to be an obelisk of. It was intended to make a statement.
Can I make a
whatever it was, whatever it wasn't.
can I
Wait a second. Whatever it was, whatever it wasn't. The point is, he had a lot of powerful people come to that fucking island, and if for some reason it was important for him
to have a temple
to
there?
display that. And the point I'm making is, again, I'm not. It's not even about his ties or connection to Israel. It's not about Ghislaine Maxwell and her father's ties to Mossad, and you know, all of that stuff is apropos. It's relevant, but the real relevancy is people are right to still question the moral and the ethical, even in the face of imminent danger. So that's where it's the same narrative that Israel has about the nuclear option. They go, well, you know, if it happens that the Muslims rise up against us, we will go nuclear and we will choose mutually assured destruction before we die for our sacred honor. And there's nothing religious about, you know, it's like America. You know, if we claim to be a righteous nation, a religious nation, we want to do everything we can to preempt any mutually assured destruction. Everything we can do, yes. But at the point where we have to make that choice, if we choose to act against God in the moments where we're tested, where the test is the greatest, then we fail. And that's, again, so even getting drawn into a narrative or a sort of cyclical drama, cyclical conflict where we use that modality is problematic. It undermines our Christian faith. We go, well, hey, well, they're Muslims. So if Israel feels threatened, they can use the nukes. That was Ben Shapiro saying, if America doesn't help us, Israel's forced to use nuclear weapons. No, they're not. I mean, what kind of crazy, false choice is that? No, they're not forced to use nuclear weapons. The Jews can come here. They can go to Europe like they do already. They got dual citizenship all over the place. The point is, you guys want to pick this one place to draw a line in the sand. And the question is, well, how far are we willing to go? And my point is, okay, if you're willing to go this far for Israel, then we can't protect Epstein. See, because your only claim that we're going that far for Israel, going all the way back to the earliest days of Zionism, the way that this was justified for America is its biblical significance. You can't reference the Bible and then have people like Epstein hanging out there using the Jewish identity to fuck little kids and say, we're going to die for this nation because you're dying for something that it's immoral.
That's a very interesting point. What you're saying is if the predicate is the whole thing is based on the return of Christ, therefore, as a Christian nation, we support Israel.
Right.
Then how can there
Then
be?
you have to cut Mossad out.
Because it's antichrist.
You can't have both things be true.
That was what I was trying to say when you
Yeah.
wanted to finish that rant, which was worth listening to, because I think that's a great point. If there's truly a temple there in that spot, let's why I wanted to see this. I mean, I can understand why it didn't come to light, and I'm a big one in not being critical till we get the punchline, because we're in the middle of the fray.
Right.
So I don't like to be real critical of things until I see what the outcome is. But what I was hoping for, because I have knowledge, firsthand knowledge of this, and I don't know that when you talk about the people that are civilians that are not really part of this conversation,
Yeah.
and you say, well, do they even believe in sin? I mean, you have to see it to know that it's real. And you have to see its effects on human beings. And there is an organized, and when I ran into it, I thought it was localized. No, I've now learned there's a worldwide exploitation of children, fracturing their psychologies and compartmentalizing them into really what we call dissociative personality, and then parasitizing these kids all kinds of different ways.
Yeah.
And to do that, this is my point about Epstein, because it's part and parcel with what you're saying. What is the two most important contribute? Forget about Einstein and Oppenheimer and the nuclear bomb. What are the two most important contributions of Israel to world history? One, Abraham acknowledged that there was one God, because before him, that was not the belief.
Right.
People were worshiping rocks.
Pagans.
Yeah. And the other thing is He took his son on a little walk up the mountain of Moriah and said, "Come on, boy, pick up them sticks." And he got him up there and he bound him and was going to sacrifice him, as was the custom of the time. And the angel came and said, "You're not going to do that." And Abraham unbound his son. And that was the break where children were no longer property, but they were the children of God. That was a tremendous change in world history that we underestimate. And why do we underestimate it? Because we're right back where we started.
Right.
So if Epstein was working for Mossad,
Yeah.
which we're assuming that he was, I didn't see any 8x10 glossies, but I keep up with it enough to know it's an allegation. And if he had this temple, that temple was not there as a Jewish temple.
Right.
It was there as an anti-Jewish temple.
Well, yeah.
Well, why do we call it Antichrist? Because it means exactly what it says.
Mhm.
It's the reversal of Christ.
Mhm.
So the lineage between Abraham and Christ is actually fully delineated in the Bible. And Christ brought redemption. So what does the Satanist want to accomplish? The end of human redemption by us choosing our own destruction rather than choosing the redemption that's offered to us.
Yeah.
So my hope in this list coming out and these people being brought before courts of law with dispositive evidence that we could all see all 350 million, or if there's 207 million, whatever the number is, because we got to get a good census. Everybody could see that there's actually a dark evil at
Permeate.
play
Yeah.
in the world
Yeah.
that is darkening our lives, which is the basis of the slavery, drugs, and piracy business model that both parties agree on supporting.
Right.
So that was my hope. That was my hope, that it would come out just for that reason, so that people, like you said, people are not tuned in.
Well,
That'd tune us in, wouldn't it? Oh, Satanists. Let's tune in at
I
7
don't
o'clock.
even know if that would. And that's why I say I don't know if things are getting better, because it's just, again, my litmus test always goes back to how could a Protestant country, a Christian country, let a bunch of Satanists take over the government in the first place? There's some Satanism in that Christian community. And there is. I mean, we know the pedophilia in the Catholic Church is a good example of the Satanism in the Christian community, because that's satanic.
And documented.
Especially if you use, look, anybody who messes with a child anyway is demented, in my opinion. I don't really think it's opinion. I think people would agree on that. But if you use God to get access to the children that you're preying on, that's another level of demonic.
That would be the penetration of the Holy Church by evil
By Satanists.
to reverse it.
That's right.
And what we have to come into contact with as American citizens is all of our institutions have been penetrated and have been infected, and we're in this process of. So when you say Donald Trump, kind of a interesting person to be chosen to bring this to light. He is the great unmasker. Well, keep going, President Trump. Unmask this stuff.
Yeah, well, and I give him some grace into it while we say it. Number one, I think we believe he has more power than he does. And
I don't. And you know why he doesn't? Because our citizens are passive. How many senators in the U.S. Senate can we rely on to back Donald Trump?
0.
Great. Could we get you elected? Could we get 20,000 new Minnesota citizens to join the Republican Party?
Ted Cruz, are you kidding me?
Come on.
Could you believe that he publicly said that one of his main,
no, not one of, his main.
I think he said one of.
Well, I heard it one way, but we agree. He said to support Israel. That's why he got into politics.
I mean,
right?
come on.
Well, how about Glenn Beck? When he said,
"Give me Israeli citizenship."
Oh man, I go, what?
Him and Bannon had a good podcast the other day, and I think Glenn Beck Glenn Beck has enough common sense to try and walk that back. Glenn Beck's is a smart guy. He really is. I consider him to be. I remember when he was with the whiteboard.
How about on Fox News?
Yeah,
Wasn't that
right.
crazy?
I mean,
did you watch those episodes?
I remember that shit.
Oh,
yeah,
it was great.
And
he didn't have it figured out.
Yeah.
He was trying to figure it out live on Fox News.
Well, that was good. I mean, I like that because he was sort of asking questions. He was like, well, how does this connect? This is weird. He was framing it in a way where
But he didn't get it.
he
was
let you
trying to
answer it.
No, he was trying to figure it out.
Right.
I mean, you got to work on it for a few years.
Well, a lot of things didn't reveal themselves yet. But my point is, his podcast with Bannon, when he had Bannon on a couple weeks back, he said some very, reasonable things. Hey, look, and I think it was a very smart move for him and Bannon to try and get together. And obviously they're on two different sides of the conservative movement in some ways. And fair play to Glenn Beck for bringing him on. But you can go right in his comments on his YouTube channel and see that the sort of Christian Zionist element of what I call the woke right, it is kind of woke right in my opinion, but that what the thought process is. They're calling Bannon a kook, and they're saying Bannon's crazy and he's done. And I was like, what world are you living in? The MAGA movement that supports Bannon has never been stronger and more passionate and more clear about our priorities.
And it's an intellectual movement. It's a movement of philosophy and ideas. It's not, that.
But it was smart. My point is, it was smart for them to try and, create a bridge there. And I think that Glenn Beck was very, reasonable in saying, hey, yeah, we support Israel. That doesn't mean that any and everything Israel does, I have to get behind. And I thought that was big for him to say that, it's a far cry from wanting dual citizenship in Israel. I mean, those are two very contradictory statements. It seems like if your affection for Israel is so great that you would want to become a citizen, then you have to take on the civic duty of Israel's interests, kind of close to the vest there. But anyway, my point is the whole thing with Donald Trump and me giving him some grace is he's not as strong, he's not as powerful as we think. That this was a trick that we played on ourselves. We let things get so bad. We want Donald Trump to be the saving grace. And this is where I would agree with some of my Protestant brothers and sisters where they say, Donald Trump ain't the Messiah, okay? Donald Trump ain't going to solve all these issues. He can help. He can change some things. There's some malleableness to our circumstances here politically in this country, and I would say spiritually. There's some malleable nature to there's plenty of times in throughout the Bible where God let mankind make a choice, right?
Yeah, like every second.
Yeah, like all the time, really. But there's some stuff you could say was preset, right? Like Christ. But there were plenty of times where he gave Abraham that choice. He kind of ushered Abraham up there and said, all right.
We get into this big conversation about free will and determinism.
I'm not going to do it because it'll be 3 hours. But what I'm saying is we do have a chance, in my opinion, to impact our destiny in God's favor for us, and whether we're blessed. They say don't block your
Can
blessings.
I ask you a question? I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a serious question. Because
before we jump off of it, though, I just want to say the reason why I give Donald Trump some grace is because
he's not in control.
Well, I mean, all of these agencies have become their own country. I mean, we have such a lack of jurisprudential constraints on the intelligence community and these agencies. The bureaucracy is so big and so out of control. Donald Trump is sort of he likes to make it seem like he's in control, and I think he's fighting for control, and I think he has a lot more control than a lot of others because of his
inside strong.
Yes, because of his motivation.
Right.
His motivation gives him a sort of power that others
He's not a
haven't
king.
had.
He is not a king.
But the DOJ, the FBI, I mean, these, you got to understand, these agencies are their own.
And they're huge agencies.
Government. They have better funding than many other countries' entire government, just individual agencies. And so their reach and their resources and their influence and their impact and their vertical donors and the elites. I mean, it's a shit show. It's a mess. And I kind of trust them to navigate it. Everybody's jumping ship. Oh, wow. No, Epstein. Then you got Ukraine. And listen, these things can be changed. The American people, you got to stand up. Tell Donald Trump, speak out. Say, hey, this isn't right.
Join your party.
I don't think there should be any more money to Ukraine at all.
Cut them off.
No weapons. See, because at the end of the day,
the war's over.
At the end of the day, well, yeah, not only that, but at the end of the day, every second that we pretend that Russia is, doing some ungodly transgression on Ukraine, we undermine our own position in the world, because not only do we do the same thing, but our nation was founded on a very similar thing. See, this is a very anti-Christian idea too. This is hyper political, which makes it strange that the Protestants or the evangelicals, make the basis of their Christian identity. Well, it's not all about political. There's bigger than politics. But then you defend the nation of Israel on a Christian basis, and even the rules-based order on a Christian basis, and say, well, it's wrong for Russia to go in. Well, okay, fine. But we've done a similar thing in the past. What are we saying?
We say from sea to shining sea.
Listen, we've done a similar thing in the past, and I don't. It undermines our position when we say, oh, well, Russia's just, what it's saying is this, that the identity of America, and thus the identity of Christians who consider themselves America and involve themselves in politics in some form or fashion, are starting our clock, our history, when these no wars of conquest pacts were made in the United Nations after World War II. Like, time just begins there. And we're going to say, oh, well, now Russia can invade Ukraine, or now China can invade Taiwan, or now this country can't invade Israel, or Israel can't invade that country, or whatever. We're trying to set a standard that has no real relevance to the eternity of time, of our own time as a nation, much less as a human civilization, as mankind, as a global society. So, we're lying to ourselves. And that's why the Russians are winning. It's not because they're that much better than the Ukrainians. There have been plenty of people. Shit, the Afghanis kicked the Russians' ass. But the Afghanis weren't lying to themselves about who they were, right? Right now, the reason the Russians are kicking the Ukrainians' ass is because the Ukrainians have a national identity that's based on a lie, that's based on a narrative that was created. And then everybody just got around the campfire, again, the heresy of democracy, and said, yeah, we all agree, so it's true. No, it ain't true. Ukraine is Russia. But what the fuck are we even talking about? Now, I'm not trying to denigrate Ukrainian people, or, but the reality is, Ukraine is Russia.
You're calling it a civil war, basically.
It's not even a civil war. These are the construction of Ukraine has always been, in my opinion, for a long time, has been a project of Western society against Russia, all the way back to the 1800s, you could say. This whole thing, this war going on there, is a war between two continents. It's a war between Russia as their own damn continent, really, because Russia's so damn big, and Europe. And the Ukrainians got slapped in the middle. And it's easy. Look, I know this from the streets, and people can say, oh, well, it's much big. No, it's gangster shit. Okay. It's real gangster. It's real simple. You got two competing gangs, and there's a disputed territory, and you go into that territory and you empower this group of people, and you say, this is your street. And you make them feel like it's theirs, so they're no longer neutral. And you keep empowering them, and slowly they start to like the idea of being their own entity, so much that they start to side with the group that tells them they're their own boss.
That's paying them.
That's paying. That's right.
They're on the payroll.
They're on the
and
payroll.
Then you put in the construct.
Come on.
Because we haven't talked about it for a while. It's Mackinder. We don't even know if Mackinder's theory is real, but those Europeans in these Harvard graduates believe it.
They believe it.
The world island, the heartland. The heartland is Ukraine.
No, it's real. Mackinder's theory was basic. As war evolves, you got to be able to walk to the shit that you need. That's it. It ain't fucking rocket science. It was quite simple.
And all those natural resources right there to steal.
Yeah, you got to be.
It's a great theory.
But it's just a very basic.
How come there's all these theories
theory
that come out of the crown that justify colonialism. Just on a sidebar.
It is a very reasonable common sense theory. For a British naval power, you guys got to start to rethink the way you go about war. And what he was really setting the stage for was Great Britain to use to double and triple down on their divide and conquer politics to rule the empire. Because really, there's no way to rule an empire when you're a small little naval island unless you play,
anthropological games.
Unless you play anthropological games with other nations. And so,
boy, they're good at it too.
They're damn good at it.
And then they taught us how
to do it.
And we're not.
And we do it too.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
And look at our country, because it's been done to the people in our country.
And that's why both countries are losing their culture and heritage. See, again.
But that's communism.
But we're living on a lie.
Communism wants everyone to, the people that run these deals, they don't care if it's capitalist or communist.
No, the same thing.
They just want the power.
You can tell it's the same thing because there's no rebuff of China. The lack of American rebuff of China tells the whole story about capitalism and communism.
They set them up.
This is why I said capitalism and communism at the highest level is the same thing. America and China's economic relationship is the example.
Democrats and Republicans.
Absolutely.
The same thing.
Yeah, the Houthis and the
blowfish. Hootie and the blowfish, baby. They sank a Greek tanker. Did you see that baby go down?
No.
They took a tanker down, and it was captured live and in color. And the first time I saw it, I said, "Is that AI?" No, they sank a ship right out there in the sea.
It's confirmed?
Confirmed. I mean, some people got killed. I mean, they bombed the hell out of this ship, and it sunk just like it was World War II. It was like a highlight reel.
This fucking Ukraine thing, look, the Israel-Iran thing, I understood it. I get it. It's a difficult situation. It really is, because in one sense, the Iranians and many of these Arab countries, hey, if they wanted to take cash to play crook, if they wanted to take cash to play the boogeyman, it paid well. They got paid. A lot of these Arab countries got paid. A lot of these Muslim countries.
A lot of them are still getting paid.
Still getting paid. And
Egypt.
And, death to America tonight will be the great. I mean, they're so dramatic, aren't they?
Your line about
the Ayatollah. Oh,
That's
man,
hilarious.
the Ayatollah. He's a funny character, ain't he?
Take that turban off.
Taking that, he's living in a posh, I'm telling you.
Got a really nice penthouse apartment.
That damn layer he has in the side of the mountain somewhere. That shit's so posh.
Got those Johnny Carson
Oh, he's
reruns.
got that nice, minimalistic, modern, very, liberal, decor in there.
Ben and Jerry's ice cream in the refrigerator.
Yeah, come on. He's taking that turban off. He's got 3 white women. He's got Ben and Jerry's ice cream. He's got the bacon bits on it, right? He's eating with bacon bits, and he's watching Johnny Carson.
That's hilarious.
And it's him and Osama. They're together. Getting into some kinky shit in that mountain hideout. But my point is a difficult situation because at the same time, our deep state knows that we empowered all these people to do the fucking shit that they're doing. And anybody in America who denies that is in denial. We
don't even know it as a people yet. We don't know.
But
we got a great example.
You're not looking at.
Oh, no, we got a great
example. You're not looking.
Right in everybody's face, this Jolani in Syria.
Yeah. They're doing it.
Al-Qaeda.
They're doing it. They're funding Al-Qaeda.
This guy was on the most wanted list with $10 million on his head until like 2 weeks ago. They said, whoops, we better stop that. He's cutting a deal with Netanyahu. Wait.
I mean, it blows my mind. I mean, this
right in your face, baby. Your face.
This is the lie. We're lying to ourselves, which is just the way Ukraine's losing the battle with Russia because they're lying to themselves. Is the same reason in America the Christians are losing the battle to the Satanists because we're lying to ourselves. Our Christianity
and we're passive.
Our Christianity is staked on. Well, you're going to be passive if you lie to yourself because you won't know the touch points to fight back. We're telling ourselves that this is all a Christian project. We're living the faith. We're fighting for God.
Don't swear.
Don't swear. Don't use profanity. But yet we're defending Israel. At the same time, our government's cutting deals with Al-Qaeda. Then we go, the Muslims are coming.
I remember in the 24 campaign, you started pushing me to go door knocking north. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, wow. And I said, man, I'm a leader. I got to go do this. So I tried to go get a bunch of Republican Party officers to come with me. I thought we'd get like 30, 40 people and go work the neighborhood lit drop. I could only get 3 other people to go do it with me. People actually said to me, I'm not going into Minneapolis to drop lead. Christians, they're afraid to go there. You know, if you're a Christian, if you read Psalm 91, if you're really living in the secret place under the cover of the wings, you can step on the cobra. You can step on the lion. The Lord is going to lift you up. If you really have the faith, you can't go knock in 12 o'clock in the afternoon in a major city in sunlight. Come on. That's not Christian faith. That's cowardice.
Right.
It's just cowardice.
Oh, I can't tell you how many people I talk to that say that. They go, well, I'm not going down into Minneapolis. It's too dangerous. It's too dangerous.
I went.
Wait
I had a good time.
Wait a second. It's too dangerous for you to go knock on doors in Minneapolis where you live. But it's not too dangerous to send our young men and women to die on a battlefield in a war world.
Well, they're not going. They're sending their kids to go.
There you go.
That's
cowardice.
And you know what?
Profound.
What
a cowardice so great, it makes sense why we're losing the fight for this country.
And here's Plekish's idea. Plekish. I heard him say this come out of his mouth myself. There's some Republicans down there in Minneapolis that gave up. We got to get those people to vote again. No, we've got 1 million people that have been abandoned to godless communism, and they're dependent.
He can't do that.
Oh, you're right, because if we got those people in the political process,
he would be out.
He'd be out in a heartbeat. And so would Tom Emmer.
That's the whole point.
And the whole group
and this
of
is
them.
this is the point I'm making. Again, I understood the Iran-Israel thing. It's complicated. It was always going to come to a head. They got to decide when. We decided when, and we decided in Donald Trump right now. It's going to come to a head now, and we're going to get this ball rolling, because it's rolling in one direction, and that's it, and that's all. Okay, cool. What did we reveal here? We revealed that the Iranians really weren't as dangerous and bloodthirsty as everybody said, especially Fox News, especially Mark Levin.
And the Chinese didn't throw down.
They're going to get a bomb. They're going to get a bomb. Okay, well, Iran called us and told us. I mean, we blew their shit to hell. And they called us and told us they were going to respond. That tells you they've been on the payroll. I'm not saying from the Trump administration, but what I'm saying is they have a working relationship, international relationship with America and the government and other nations. They have a working relationship in order to play the role that they're playing, and they got paid handsomely for it. So, okay, there's going to be a cutout. We're going to, renegotiate the deal or whatever the fuck they're doing. I don't even understand it. I like when the best moment in this whole shit when Trump said, I told these fuckers to stop. They didn't want to fucking stop. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They've been fighting so long, they don't know what
they don't know what they're doing. I love that. Was the most real moment in the whole shit. And it had the most viral, impact too, because it was just authentic. And that's the Donald Trump we need. But, okay, now this debt ceiling thing and the big, beautiful bill, I can even go there with you. I've been saying as long I'm the biggest debt hawk there. There's never been another politician. There's not another black man in American history who brought 10,000 people to the Federal Reserve, except the other black men that were with me. So there's nobody who's a bigger debt hawk, financial predatory behavior from the institutions than I am. But I do understand that money in and of itself at that level is a fugazi. Like I was thinking to myself the other day, if I had $10 trillion, sorry, if I had $10 million and I got it up front, the cash, and I invested, the financial system is broken, but it's not broken enough for me to still get 5% interest on the $10 million for them holding my money. So, I mean, if it was really broken, then they would make you pay to hold your money. But they're not. They're still paying you to hold your money. If you got $10 million, you're going to get $500,000 a year on the interest, on the VIG. From them, they're going to pay you. Okay, so if you're America and you can print money, why don't we just print $10 trillion and plant the $10 trillion in the same
and invest it?
But that's what.
But there is a difference with this debt ceiling increase, which this is when people get ideological.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference. Think about it like a business. If your business is going broke, and you're because we are going broke, and you're borrowing to fund operations.
Yeah.
No bank's going to support that. There's going to come to an end where the bank says, that's it. But if you're borrowing for investment, so what this whole thing is about is timing.
Right.
Because we're this economic.
We're not going broke. That's the whole thing.
Well, we're certainly not under this economic.
We're not going. No, we're not going. We were never going broke. This is them trying to uphold the scam. I mean, we got to just cut this. I'm just going to cut straight through this bullshit.
No, I don't agree with you. We're going broke.
We're not.
You can't keep borrowing money like this.
No, stop. You can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. Listen.
No, you can't.
You can. I guarantee you can. They're doing it. You can. We've been saying we're not the first debt hawks. The problem with the debt is on. No,
it's
listen.
the interest payment on the debt.
No, stop. That's all bullshit. I've been telling you this is bullshit.
I don't agree with you.
Bullshit.
I don't agree with you.
The interest pay. First of all, listen. The debt. The only problem with the debt is a moral and principle problem that the debt is going to our own destruction. We were going in debt to fund the rise of a globalist agenda and a China-centric global economy. That's the only problem with the debt.
And I understand what you're saying. There is another system after the dollar fails. That I get. The country's not going away, but we don't want to lose the privacy of the U.S. dollar.
That's what I'm saying.
To make that transition to a digital currency. Yes, I agree with you.
Okay.
We're not going away.
Yeah, come on.
That system is going broke.
But that's how they fence it, though. And I'm a dead hawk, but the reason we talk about it like this is because we want to save the British business model. The whole point of the thing is the resources aren't going anywhere. The rare earth minerals aren't going anywhere. The people aren't going anywhere. Their need for water and air and oil and energy, electricity.
Freedom is going somewhere.
There you go. But that's not.
But the collateral on that debt is our freedom.
The collateral is phony.
Our freedom is not phony.
No. The collateral is phony. Hold on. Let me describe this again. The monopolization at an unfair markup and with an unreasonable interest on the natural resources was the initial strain that the eventual timeline and collapse that we placed on our own economy. And this is what the Republicans, the free market capitalism Republicans, can't bring themselves to say. Because to them, the free market capitalism thing always will work if it has morals, if it has sacred honor. This is why Jesus Christ said, for you Christian Zionists out there, Jesus Christ said, give to Caesar what is Caesar's. That didn't mean stay out of politics. That means you corporations need to stop trying to figure out how to do tax loops so you can keep your moral integrity. Because if you're so hell-bent on not paying your basic taxes,
you're stealing.
Well, not only are you stealing, no telling what you're going to do when it comes to profit in general.
You're losing your moral.
You're losing your moral center in the business framework. And the whole system is built on that. The whole system is built on this.
Credit is trust.
The whole system is built on this idea that we have to put this money up in order to live, in order to continue. No, we don't. This is about ownership. This is about ownership. This is about liability. This is about interest. This is our financial issues are a financialized issue. Because water is still going to be if you took the owner of the water away, and this is where the Marxists are going to ram a fucking mop handle right up our ass. See, because they're going to break it all the way down back to the bare essentials. They're going to go, if I just whack this United States, this United Healthcare Group CEO, guess what? The hospital's still going to run. Right? And you take it down another level, you go, if we kill all of these people who are monopolizing the water, who are monopolizing the land that God gave to us to be fruitful and prosper, is the fruit still going to be there? See, their argument is that you need the capital and the commercial market and the entire distribution network on top of the land in order to efficiently get those resources to the people who need it. The great counter is going to be, no, we don't. When shit goes back to the bare minimum, are some people going to die because they're not as good at farming as they would think they are? Yeah. But some motherfuckers going to figure out how to farm too. And they're going to be okay. And they're going to figure out how to boil some water that's got some parasites and shit that we've been dumping in it. They're going to figure out how to boil that water to a point where they could drink it. It's been going on since the beginning of time. Again, we have this affectation. We have this lie we're telling ourselves about modern economy. This is what the modern monetary theory is really about, to preserve the lie that the monopolization of these resources has to continue. It doesn't. That's why Bannon says it without saying it. He goes, we're going to have to learn to spread this. We're going to have to find a way to spread this money around, or there's going to be a revolution. And it's not a question. It's a fact. It's already begun. The question is, who's leading the revolution? Is the military-industrial complex?
Well, that's who's leading it now. That's my point.
Right.
If we lose control, the citizens lose control of this economy because the debt becomes so big that the
You
economy.
mean if there's a narrative that we've lost control and people believe it?
Well, they're going to believe it when they go down to their ATM and there's no money.
No,
in
they're
there.
not.
They're going to believe
No,
it.
they're not. That's why it hasn't happened. The people who
The whole point of this whole thing is to make it happen.
Wait, no,
No, that's
not.
point.
They're not going to make it happen.
The point.
No,
the point of this
that's a
whole
boogeyman.
exercise.
No.
Because I read the Federal Register.
No, it's
and
not
that
about
central bank digital
They're
currency.
fear porning you guys.
They're not fear porning anybody.
They are.
You're not reading the book, baby.
No.
Right now, the interest on
it
this
doesn't fucking
debt
matter.
is bigger.
It
Yes,
doesn't fucking matter what the interest is.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
The people who are running.
Do you have
hold on,
cash in your pocket
the
right now?
The people who run it doesn't matter fucking cash. The point is,
You mean you want to have a digital currency?
The people who run the interest, the people who oversee the interest, the Fed, they are in charge of when the debt collapses.
Right.
They're going to say it.
And they've got
Why
the
would they do that?
Why would they do it?
Why?
Because they have a replacement.
No.
They have a replacement.
They don't need
for
a
the whole
replacement.
segment.
We're slaves enough on the cash. That's the whole point you're not seeing. We're slaves and we're fucking faggots on the cash. We're fucking non-participating.
It's not enough for the Satanists.
It is.
It's not.
It is.
Then why did they set up all this digital infrastructure?
In case.
In case what?
In case they need it. It's a backup plan. The number one plan is to keep things.
Then what you're saying is Donald Trump's in on it.
No, I'm not. I'm saying
because
that
his entire economic
is about preserving the dollar empire. I've
Yeah.
been saying that he needs to cut that out.
In fact,
I've been saying that.
He's putting extra tax on the BRICS nations.
I've been saying that. That's not a fucking, I'm not shying away from that. If I was to sit down with Donald Trump, the first thing I would tell him is quit with this dollar empire shit. Stop saying you want to save the dollar empire.
There's two different issues here now we're talking about. We're talking about the economy, the real economy on Main Street. I agree with you. The dollar empire is the military-industrial complex. I agree with you on that. But I would like to preserve my economic freedom. I would like to.
You're not free now.
I know that. But I would like to preserve the opportunity to make myself economically
Listen, and
free.
what I'm telling you is the Marxists are going to ram a mop handle up our ass eventually. And they're festering the narrative now. They're saying, look at this United Healthcare Group CEO. Look at this guy. He makes $100 million to price gouge you for Tylenol at the emergency room. Look at this guy. He's your problem.
And we're paying for it.
He's your problem. That's what they're doing. And guess what?
That's not even true.
There's a great, well, wait a second. No, there is a great argument that mentality, that mechanism, that financial mechanism has been a problem. It's the same crony capitalism that let our military-industrial complex get out of control.
It's the same people.
So there's the same people. So there is some truth to it. The question for the Christians is it moral then to go and kill him? Because no, that's not moral. But the criticism still stands. And we have trouble separating it. And that's part of the psyop. Part of the psyop is to get some fucking weirdo hopped up and go kill this guy when the real conversation should have been about, is this moral or ethical? We don't do that. And now,
well, that's because everybody's brainwashed into this scientific thing.
Okay, my point again, the people who hold the debt are going to continue to, it's a fugazi. They're going to keep raising the debt ceiling. They're going to keep printing money because people will keep paying. The currency is the exchange of.
So what you're saying is that there's no reason to go to digital because they'll just subjugate everybody through inflation. That's what you're saying.
They already have. Look at our life. Look at our lives. It's almost goddamn ridiculous that it's $9,000 for a fucking 300 square foot apartment in New York City, and people still get out of college and want to go live there. They believe in it. As a Minnesotan, a boy who grew up in the woods and in open kind of city engineering, I look at New York City and I go, are you fucking people nuts?
Well, this part is
and they are, because if you drive in New York City, they don't use turn signals. It's fucking crazy.
This part is very interesting because you're right. Going bankrupt is the fugazi because the other system is there. So we're not going to go away as a country. But what Donald Trump's economic policy is to end the inflation, balance the budget, pay down the debt, which then makes the strength go back to Main Street in the individual people. That's MAGA.
Right.
That's the point.
Right, no doubt.
So,
which is why, to start this whole section, what I was saying was the big, beautiful bill, I could even get there. I can get there. I can grant Donald Trump the $5 trillion on the debt ceiling, even though in other years I've said not a single penny. It was not a single penny when it was Joe Biden, because I know what Joe Biden wanted to spend it on. And I knew that he would spend every single penny if he got the chance, including more. He'll go over the $5 trillion.
Well, the great danger here.
But Donald Trump, I'll give the $5 trillion.
The great danger is if the American citizens don't motivate, get involved in politics, join their party, and endorse good candidates, Donald Trump allegedly will not be running again in 2028.
Right.
If the Democrats the communists get back in control,
it's all over.
They'll spend all that. We're going to get about $600 or $700 billion a year in tariff money.
They'll use the raise of the debt ceiling to justify the collapse, right? Because that's their deal. They'll use it to justify.
They'll spend it and then they'll collapse.
What I'm saying is but that will be a takeover. You got to realize these centrists, these moderates, these uniparty, they do whatever they need to do. They're ambiguous. They're chameleons. They'll be whoever they need to be. There is a real radical leftist, Marxist, communist revolution brewing on the left side of the American political spectrum, and they plan to take the Democrat Party over completely.
Haven't they already done it?
No, they haven't. Military-industrial complex was still running Obama. He was the most socialist
the military,
president.
They're running those people too.
No, wait a second.
Yes, they will.
No,
they'll put them on the payroll.
Listen. No, there is a real ideologically driven movement on the progressive left that's fostering right now down in the elementary schools that says the military, all intervention is reprehensible. That who is America to involve themselves in anything? We're living on stolen land. That's the narrative brewing. It hasn't bubbled all the way up yet. That's the power of AOC. And people believe in it because they train people to believe in it. And who's up to take over the Democrat Party now? AOC.
And this dude that's running in New York.
And a radical Muslim. Oh, okay. I'm telling you.
But don't you think those people will be co-opted?
No. And maybe even if they are, the next generation won't be, because there'll be a generation of even more radical ideologues who come after them and cut their throats, who stab them in the back and say—
I think AOC's worth like $30, $40 million
It doesn't matter how much she's worth. It matters about the narrative and what she represents. That'd be like saying Donald Trump isn't legitimate because he's a billionaire, but talking about the elites.
Wait a second.
That's not.
If you're a radical communist, how can you have
all the radical communists were rich?
But then aren't they co-opted by the system? Once they are?
No. They took control of the system.
Why would you want to collapse it? Yes, then they're the system.
Not co-opted by it. They're running it.
Great. Then they're the system.
Xi Jinping is running it.
Hasn't this process been going on since John Kennedy got his noggin popped?
My point is this. Again, there's a radical left movement coming that plans to usurp the Democrat Party altogether. And they will not fold. What are we talking about here? Through all these communist revolutions, there was a revolution. There was a revolutionary movement so powerful. They said to hell with all of the everyday function. To hell with the everyday thing. We don't care about that. That's what killing a United Healthcare Group CEO out there on Fifth Ave is signaling. We're getting to the point now where we're going to say, the hell with the pleasantries, the hell with the everyday. We're done with the everyday. We're going to burn it all down. Look at fucking Anne Hathaway's speech 6 years back. We're going to burn this country down. We're going to burn this world down and make a new one. It's coming. It's bubbling. I'm trying to warn people. I come from the fucking city. I know what the mentality is. They don't give a shit about payroll or operating capital or any of that fucking bullshit. They're living by their fingertips. All they think about is right now, and that's what makes them easy to buy off. That's what makes them easy to influence by a communist leader who wants to be just as rich as the last CEO who they were decrying. That's how they even came into league with Xi Jinping. He builds beautiful airports. Yeah, with slave fucking labor. He's slaving his whole country out. He sold them down the river. They're slaves. And we know that. They know that, but they don't care because they're living in such a radical state of survival, which we put there. My point is, again, I could grant Donald Trump the $5 trillion because there's a difference of going into debt to fund your national mortal enemy and going into debt to build your own country. The question is, are we going to build our own country? And I look at things like our elections. I look at things like our infrastructure. Where's the power grid conversation? Well, those are the bills that need to be getting, but that's the shit that needs to be hitting the Senate floor.
Well, let me just say on a sidebar, Donald Trump issued an executive order about a month ago, and they're building, I think, 35 nuclear power plants on military land. There's no permitting. It's done. To build a nuclear power plant in this country take 20 years. These plants are going to be up in 3 years. I think the deadline is 2027.
Yeah.
Why? Why are they building those power plants?
Empire.
Oh,
Got to be self-sufficient.
yeah. How about data and digital data centers?
Well, that's a whole nother deal.
It's a whole. We're in such a.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey,
we gotta. Look. People
you got to get involved, baby.
People may listen to this and go, "Shit,
what the hell?
What the hell are you?" Well, all right. I mean, you could call me the dumb jock, but I'm telling you now. Everybody thinks they're smarter than Satan, and that's Adam and Eve thought they were smarter than Satan. It was a damn grave mistake they made. Damn grave mistake. And you can make an argument, did they really think they were smarter or did they just give way to the temptation?
Oh, they thought they were going to be like God.
My thing is, Ukraine is a hard line. I could grant you the Iran-Israel thing is like, okay, shit got crazy. Maybe you got some bad intelligence. The Israelis are telling us they're going this week. Okay, boom. And all of a sudden, okay, we're taking out the nuclear facilities. Donald Trump reorients the thing, settles the score. Everybody's good and bop, bop. Okay, then they come back and say, well, all of the nuclear material wasn't destroyed. You got Europe doing that. You got our own people in America. Okay, so that's going to continue on, we see. Hopefully Donald Trump can keep a cap on that. Big, beautiful bill, $5 trillion. Okay, I got you. We'll spot you $5 trillion. It's a big number.
Hey, compared to what, 37 trill?
Well, but shit.
You got to have some walking around money.
This is what I'm saying. In what world does somebody who holds a debt let it get to 33 trillion and not call the debt in? That's what tells you it's a fugazi. Back to my point.
No, the bankers are going to get paid. That's my point.
There you go.
The bankers get paid regardless. They don't care if they get paid dollars or digital currency. If they get paid digital currency.
What does you mean? Wait a second. What does it? It's the banker. The bank. It's not about the money for the bank. What the fuck does the money matter? There's no money. There is no money.
They suck up all the resources.
There you
with
go.
That money.
There you go. That's my point. It's not about the money. So
we're 90.
They own the resources anyway.
Not all of them.
Give me what don't they own? What don't you need the bank to do? What property does the bank?
There are still people in this society, millions of them,
who own their own property.
Own their own property.
So what? They're paying taxes on it every year.
Well, that's another issue. I think that's part of your platform.
No fucking taxes.
No property taxes.
I think I just saw Trump say that. He wants to end property taxes.
The first time you said that.
It feels like he's listening to. That's why I'm hopeful. It feels like through some confluence of circumstance, he hears me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking alike with a lot of the other same people.
Well, you get.
No fucking property taxes. It's un-American. It's absolutely
Well, they were talking
un-American.
about no property taxes when someone gets to retirement age, which is kind of cool because you should be able to actually retire, right?
Yeah.
If you want to.
Good.
And even that is kind of a strange idea because back in the day, there was no retiring. You just jingled until your spurs didn't jingle no more.
Until you croak.
Right. I mean, because that is that's the warrior way. I mean, who's going to go?
Do you understand what I'm saying with this?
No, I think it's a good
shit?
Conversation. Well, the distinction
what I'm saying is
is
you don't let
you're saying that the digital currency is a backstop and a threat, but that they can do the same thing with the dollar empire because it's the same thing. What fucking difference does it make? And that is a good point.
What I'm saying is the bank is going to continue to fund the rest of society as long as they stay in control of the thing. And right now, there is no. In fact, the central digital currency is somewhat of a threat to them because to decentralize currency and give the Bitcoins and all these other.
Oh, no, there's no Bitcoin. They're talking about a federal
I know,
central
but what are they going to do with the Bitcoin? They're going to deregulate it?
Let me tell you how that goes.
They're going to make it illegal?
When you go into the king's kingdom and try to set up an alternative form of currency,
yes,
that's as long as the king wants to let it be that way.
Which is probably why central bank digital currency hasn't come yet. Because they already got it. It's working for them. They're rich. They're stupid rich. They're the greatest run in life. The only thing left, the people who want, let me explain this.
You know who they want? They want the middle market Republicans.
Yes.
They want those 401ks.
Yes.
They want that property that's paid off.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the last piece.
Last Mohicans.
And these people are cooperating with the very people that want to rob them.
The only people who truly want central bank digital currency, I mean, at a spiritual level, are the far and progressive left communists who see it as a mechanism to totalitarianism, right? They see it as a segue to totalitarian governance. And the tech bros who are just, they're premature ejaculators on anything that develops technologically. So, oh, digital currency, I can fingerprint my groceries. It's just like they're premature ejaculators, right? Those are the only people who really want central bank digital currency. You think Warren Buffett, you think BlackRock really wants central bank digital currency? Why? They got all the cash now. Why would they want to go away from cash when they got all the cash? They can say it. They can get together at their global summits. They're just jerking off their other globalist buddies. Because there's a part of society where you get in a circle, and you sing Kumbaya, but none of us really.
Well, they're kind of changing now too, because the pressure of the MAGA movement, DEI.
Why would you want to give up cash when you got all the cash? Tell me. Somebody make that make sense. Why would you want to give up all the cash when you have all the cash? And people are willing to accept that.
Because you can get rid of all the downward price pressure from all the independent shopkeepers. You can
They're going anyway.
No.
They're going.
We're fighting the fuck back. What are you talking about?
But
no.
So you tell me. You tell me why all of these independent shopkeepers that you and I both know, love their little fucking piece of the
freedom.
Why haven't they got involved in politics?
Oh, that's a great question.
I know. That's why I'm running for United States Senate. Why you fuckers aren't donating to MAGA? Why are you fuckers still in these text chats talking shit about Donald Trump and how bad of a fucking guy he is because he doesn't want to fund another fucking global war?
But you're
losing your independent ass. You're the fucking bank squeezing you fuckers out piece by piece.
That's making me the master model of what needs to happen because I'm fighting politics.
That's why I told you to get a podcast.
Yeah, that's a funny story, isn't it? But tell that one downstream.
But all your friends, though, they're on the teat.
Oh, yes, they're not my friends anymore.
Okay.
Because it's a funny story. I had this group meeting every Saturday morning.
We're getting down today, Hebroes.
We had this. I had this meeting because I got trying to make things happen here, and I had about 20, 30 people coming to hang out with me. I said, I'm bringing Royce White, and Royce came. I don't know, 6, 8 times. Quit coming. My feelings was hurt. I said, Royce, what the fuck, man? I'm doing this. We got a movement. He said, nah, man, these people ain't going to do a goddamn thing. And you know what? You're 100% correct. And almost all those people that I was cultivating for change got sucked up into the fucking apparatus and gave over because they're in it for what reason? Social. What can they get out of it for themselves? They don't give a fuck about this country. They're completely self-interested. Right. And another commonality, they really don't believe in God either.
Okay, now listen.
And I'm pissed about. I'm pissed about.
Now, what I'm telling you is, the central bank digital currency is the backup plan for if enough American citizens really start giving a fuck enough about this country.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, as long it's a.
Oh, that's interesting. I like that. Okay. So then, how do we get off of that cross as the American citizens? We still got to make the play.
Yeah,
we still got to make the play.
We're trying.
But what you're saying is, if we actually have some success. Let's say we get 20 real people in the Senate. Whoop! We're going to pull the plug.
We're pulling the debt.
Pay up, sucker.
Ain't that the predatory? Isn't that how predatory lending goes? It's the mafia. Come on, dude. People think that I use the mob as a great example, right? People think, oh, you get in debt with the mob. They come and kill you, come and beat you up. No, they don't.
They can't collect anymore.
Can't collect. As long as we can keep collecting, we might rough you, we might intimidate you, we might break a few windows.
What did I tell you we need?
But we're going to let you pay it off.
What did I tell you we need? The Great American Jubilee.
Yes.
Make those fuckers pay for it.
And that is when you would see them pull the plug.
Right, but it's kind of a race. It's kind of an athletic contest, isn't it?
But that's why you would do it. That's why you would get 20 people in the Senate that would bring an American Jubilee, because that would be the great unmasker. That would show.
That's what we got to work towards. It's a little
bit.
bit.
At the end of the day, if we listen, this is what I'm saying.
8 seconds left on the clock. 4th down.
Yes.
30 yards from the goal line. One fucking play.
Yeah.
If we don't score,
game over.
Game over.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we're at, isn't it?
It's exactly where we are. And that's why.
And I can't even get people to join the fucking party.
We can't even get Republican Party officers or Republican Party delegates, members, to spend more than 3 minutes listening to their candidates speak so they can know who the fuck is going to be representing them.
It's terrifying.
I want to say this. When I say that when I'll be afraid that the bank is going to pull the plug on the whole charade is when I walk into a Republican caucus event and motherfuckers are there for 12 hours. Motherfuckers are there for 24 hours.
Standing up and screaming.
When people are there for 36 hours, unrelenting, like they were when this country was founded. When people are there hashing out the ideas and the policies like when this country was founded, and there's some tables that get turned over and there's some dust that gets kicked up, there's some rearranging of the furniture, that's when I'll be afraid that the international banksters will pull the fucking plug on this country's economy.
Everybody shows up with smiles and they're having coffee
eating
and
fucking donuts. You're eating the very food that's fucking killing you. And you're worried about the Muslims. The fucking donuts are killing you. Not only are you eating the donuts, I eat a good donut from now and then, but look at me. I mean, I'm fucking built. I'm built like a piece of iron. I work out. I'm training hours a day. I'm jump roping in my own garage. I'm shadow boxing, 3 15-minute rounds, 45 minutes. I'm moving. You're sitting in your fucking couch. You come to the fucking thing, you're eating donuts. You're killing yourself. Why the fuck do they need to pull the dead on you? And then not only are you fucking killing yourself with the donuts and coffee, the coffee's fucking terrible for you. There's all type of fucking phyto-cancer chemicals in the fucking coffee. Not only are you killing yourself, then they're going to keep you on Social Security even when you're dead. They're gonna divert millions of people who are 135 fucking years old to some black operation where Epstein is putting some fucking temple on his island as a big fucking fuck you to the entire free world.
That all got forgotten. It's almost like the list is a diversion. What happened to all those Social Security numbers?
You know what happened? You and I both know what happened.
Yeah, I do know what happened.
The fucking punk ass Senate didn't want to finalize, and this is the real psyop. Oh, they got people on every side. Then they put Elon in charge of the most transparent thing about the entire shit, who's Mr. AI transhumanism himself. So now in order to affirm the Doge cuts, which are one of the most transparent things about the administration, now we got to kind of affirm Elon. But he's such an asshole, we don't want to. This is how Satan plays, man. This is how Satan really
divides and conquers.
Really divides and conquers. The Doge cuts needs to be, the fact that the Senate wouldn't approve the Doge cuts, that still hasn't gone through.
Crazy.
That tells the whole story. I mean, I don't have to go further than that. The point I'm making
we don't even know what the fuck happened.
The point I'm making, like I said, I'm winning Professor Penn over here in real time. Now you guys see how we became such great friends. This is the Hebroes.
Well, you got to listen. I mean, really, this is the thing. When I'm thinking about these people my age.
Yeah.
They can't handle this conversation.
Right.
The first one was communism and capitalism was the same thing. No, it's not. I thought about it. Yes, it is.
For sure.
Same fucking thing.
For sure.
And now what you're saying is, which is a very interesting idea, that the digital currency program is a threat, that they don't need it, but if they need it, it's coming.
Yes.
And what I'm saying is what Donald Trump is trying to do, and I'm watching the leftists, I'm dancing with some of these people. They're, oh my God, 35% tax on 50%. God damn, who cares? Doesn't even mean, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, we're paying for it anyhow. The bills come and do, pay the fucker off. And let's maintain the opportunity for freedom. Now you're down to hard work. Now you're down to you have the fortitude to get the deal done. Now I'm you know me well. I'm not giving up. See, that kind of fortitude, that's what we need. And but you know what? I grew up on John Wayne.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
We lost that.
There was no giving up.
We lost that.
Fuck, no, we didn't. No. My generation has to inspire. First of all, these people that are sitting on these paid off fucking $3 million homes with all this money in the bank, they're not helping.
Right.
They're just hanging out.
Right.
They want this system
They like it.
because they're the beneficiaries thereof.
They just like to complain about it.
That's right.
That makes you a jerk off.
It makes you a lazy jerk off.
Yeah.
That really typifies. That's why we need young blood in the Republican Party.
I'm telling
which
you.
is the last thing they want is 900,000 people from Minneapolis going, wait a second, I'm going to become political.
And the even more the even more corrupt thing is, I can't tell you how many young people reach out to me from all walks of life. I'm talking all walks. Whether they be Black, Hispanic, Somali, Asian, whether they be, Christian, Protestant, Catholic, atheist, it doesn't matter. They all reach out to me and they say, man, we need some young blood in this political thing. Keep going. Keep going. I was at a gym yesterday for basketball practice, 14-year-old basketball practice. And it's a big auxiliary gym. I'm not going to say where, on the off chance that somebody may fucking try and come in there. But anyway, I had a man who had a very, very good son. I'm not going to say his name because, politics has a way of coming back to bite people, and people make
we
shit
left some
personal.
names out today.
Leave some names out. But anyway, there's a man who had a son who recently graduated from high school basketball in Minnesota who was very good. I mean, very good. And he's going to a very good school, and he's getting paid some money because he can play that well. And never met the man before. Saw his son play for the last 4 years because I coached the high school team too. I was in my practice with my 14-year-old team. We play this weekend. We play up against the 15-year-olds. Last weekend we went 3-1 against the 15-year-olds, which is they're 14 and some of them are 13, so they're a really good team. We play again this weekend. So I'm in practice, and a man walks up to me. He's walking now back by the track. I can see him, and my radar's on. I mean, I'm looking at him, and I can tell his energy is friendly, but in my back of my mind, my fists are still already delivering shots. Right, my elbows are already dropping. I'm gonna cut this dude up if he makes one wrong move. And he walks up to me, and he doesn't even make eye contact to the very last time, which in many ways makes you nervous. But I can feel his energy, and he just kind of walks up to me, and he quietly says, I'm a fan of your politics. And I go, what's your name? He tells me his name. I know immediately by the last name who his kid is because of where we are. And we talk about his son and going to college, the whole thing. But he's like, I'm a fan of your politics. And you're talking about a middle-aged white man from suburban Minnesota, right? And he's just, and anybody who knows my name politically, they're not in the dark about the controversy. They're not in the dark that I'm saying controversial statements. They support me because of the controversial statements, right? And my point is, I meet people from all walks of life that want this country to change, that want things to be different. The Republican Party is systematically keeping them
Out.
They're keeping them from doing it. They're keeping
And
them.
one of the ways they're doing it is lying.
Not only
Lying.
that, but they're creating a landscape where a John Cornyn comes out of an endorsement process. He's the only Republican nominee on the ticket, and then a lot of these people are voting Republican without even knowing who John Cornyn really is.
A lot of people in Texas don't even know that he's their senator. I'm tied to Texas.
They don't even know.
And now
How do you not know who your senator is?
And then they've blown out Paxton.
But there's people in Minnesota too who don't know. I say Tina Smith, they go, who's that?
What's that?
Yeah. They know Amy Klobuchar. People know Amy Klobuchar's name because she ran for president, and she's been around for a while. But people are so not involved. So imagine, now we're talking about politics. That's right up in your face. That's the public arena. Imagine how in the dark your average American citizen is about finance. And this is what makes Bannon so dangerous. I don't even know if Bannon knows that this is what makes him so dangerous. I always push on him and say, ring that Wall Street bell, brother. Tell these people how the money actually works, because that's what makes him the most dangerous.
Well, the real problem with this is you got to be in that game. It's like basketball. You can't learn it out of a book.
No.
So if you've had the fortune or misfortune to actually be in that ring, I've probably been in 35 countries doing international trade.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got to do it. I don't know, 35 is too many, but a lot of, when you do it and you're doing it and you lose at it, and you get, that's how you learn it, right? Getting your
Right.
ass whipped.
Right.
Man, that's why I say we need the Great American Jubilee.
Yeah.
And we got to take that resource back. And you're right. You have convinced me the digital currency is the backstop. If we get enough political action, and we can't even get 50 fucking people in a room.
Come on, man. Why would they look?
Why would they fuck with us if it's
if
convinced me it's all a fugazi to scare us
Yes.
and divert us from the fact that we're getting robbed right here and right now.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Let's say it's broke and keep robbing us.
Come on.
Look over here while we rob you. It's a magician's trick. You're exactly correct. Another magician's trick. Well, you've watched Royce White get the best of Professor Penn today live, but it's a great.
No, but I get it because I've been as big of a critic of.
You got the drop on me today.
I've been as
young man.
big of a critic of digital currency too, in theory, and it's okay to talk about things in theory, right? Like, okay, in theory, a central bank digital currency is going to strip everybody their economic freedom, and like I said at the beginning of the show,
But inflation's doing the same thing anyhow, so who gives a shit?
in a different
That's
way.
why Donald Trump is so dangerous, and that is why they're fighting these tariffs so much.
Yes.
Because the American citizens who are everyday
And they want to
people,
get them.
they don't understand
with
the
the
difference.
MacGuffin. Then they want to get them with the MacGuffin about nuclear bombs.
They don't understand. There's a difference between prices and inflation.
Yes.
Prices go up and down. Inflation is the expansion of the money supply. Prices going up and down. I can choose not to go buy a fucking tomato. There's going to be anti-dumping taxes on tomatoes from Mexico. They're going to go up 20%. Can I live without a tomato? Yes, I can.
Yeah.
But when everything inflates, then everything gets more expensive, and that transfers my wealth upstream.
But but listen, we're talking about people who are very familiar with Marxist communist revolutions, and some people probably helped fund some of them in recent world history.
The last 100 years.
Right. So you think that they're going to let every time the economy gets almost bad enough for the people to go hungry, we find a way to get enough food to everybody. Anybody ever think that's weird? See, because you understand what I'm saying? Every time shit gets almost bad enough for people to really say, that's it, bring out the pitchforks and the tiki torches.
Franklin Roosevelt.
Okay. And that's my whole point here is if you just look at history, recent history, things get bad. The real crime, the real corruption is they let it get just bad enough. They let it get they let it get so bad, but they stop it just short enough, which they can measure before you say that's fucking it. I'm done. They're that good because they're measuring money. I mean, they can see the numbers they can tell, okay, yeah, people can't put together $500 cash, but their quality of life is better than it's ever been. Their appliances in their apartment are more stainless steel than they've ever been. People aren't going hungry anymore. So you can't put together. This is the great tell right here. You can't put together $500 cash in a crisis, but everybody's still eating, and that's what they're telling you. They're saying, yeah, okay, you don't really have any financial freedom, any stability. You don't have any ownership. You don't have any investments. You don't have but you're still eating. Be happy, motherfucker. That's what they told the slaves. That's what they told the slaves on the plantation. That's the justification.
Chattel slavery and debt slavery.
Where people said, you black folks should be happy you came to this country because look where you came from.
That was the argument.
I know.
And they're making the same argument about these quote-unquote newcomers.
That's what I'm telling you. They said, look, you should be happy you're even eating.
You get to be Christians now, after all.
But God gave us the plants and the fruits and the vegetables and everything on the earth to be fruitful and multiply. Again, and this is why, again, I'm going to say this as we end here. The real herald of the shift in geopolitics is in Africa. I don't say that as some Pan-Africanist. I don't believe in Pan-Africanism.
I got a guy that always says that to me. Why are you hanging around with this Marcus Garvey Pan-African?
Me? Talking about me?
Yeah. Puts it in my, seriously. It's hilarious, isn't it?
I would never, first of all, I would never go live in Africa. And I would never want to become an African citizen. I'm not African. I'm black. There's a big difference. So whoever said that is a fucking racist.
That's correct.
Stupid.
That's correct.
Dumb motherfucker. Yeah, and probably
an officer of the Republican Party.
Probably, yeah, fucking clown. These people don't say this shit to me because they know better. But anyway, I'm definitely not a Pan-Africanist. Black people, we don't be trying to go live in Africa. First of all, They don't want you there.
They don't like you.
They don't like you. Secondly, Africans sold us out the first time anyway. So, there's that. But anyway, still, it's the herald of the shift in global politics. Because you have what's coming to a head now is all of nationalism is going wide. Nationalism is going.
It's in vogue.
It's in vogue.
It's in vogue.
So it
Strike a
ain't
pose.
gonna stop with America and Germany and Croatia. Now in Burkina Faso, the president of Burkina Faso said, "All you bankers getting the fuck out. If you ain't out by 3:00 on Wednesday,
We're shooting you."
we're shooting you." And for real.
Oh no, I saw it.
All of you bankers,
looking good in that military
all you
uniform.
and he's young, clean shaven in that military uniform, just as a
Looking a bit like reminiscent of Gaddafi.
All you bankers get the fuck out. If you're not out by Wednesday, we're shooting you. And now, what do they find? A gold reserve that's worth $6 trillion. Oh, okay. Now we're gonna sell. What is it? We're gonna sell uranium where we were selling it for 80 cents a kilogram. Now we're getting $220 a kilogram. In 1 year, we've made $1 trillion. Well, we made, I think it was like $200 billion the first year they reoriented the thing. It was about resources. And it was about the ownership of the resources and the allocation of the resources. Who was controlling it? Now, I wouldn't be shocked to see a bunch of those African leaders get clipped here in the near future. And if history is any indicator of future
outcomes,
they might be signing their own death warrant. I'm not saying they're not, but my point is the narrative's still going to brew. There's going to be somebody. Once it's been seen, it can't be unseen. This is why they thought killing Gaddafi was going to solve it. It didn't solve it. It just postponed it. Now they can play the game where they think we can postpone and push it out far enough to what they plan to do. Now, this is the real danger. Artificial intelligence will make things so good and so easy for everybody, there'll be no more need for a nationalist or populist movement. That's why I say AI is the greatest threat, because the nationalist populist movement is largely predicated on the idea that our political and financial elites are fucking us. They're lying to us. They're corrupt. They're cheating us.
You want to slow down.
AI will solve that.
That needs to be said more often.
Go ahead.
That our political elites are in league with the money and they're fucking us. But if you got a little bit of resources, you don't feel the fucking quite as much as if you live in downtown Minneapolis.
Right. If you live in downtown Minneapolis, you don't even think about it as
Abraham
resources.
Abraham Lincoln.
If I'm a 19-year-old black kid, I don't think about it in terms of resources. I never even learned about geopolitics. I don't understand the downstream effect of policy. If I'm a 19-year-old kid and I grew up in North Minneapolis, when I was around 15 or 16, I had a cousin that was shot and killed. I started to get the idea that I might need to carry a gun because I live in a dangerous place. And then when I get to 19 and, there's a little bit more girl action, there's a little bit more peer pressure to do drugs, there's a little bit more peer pressure to go out and be about, and then you run into some other young black men and you kind of mean mug each other like, whose watering hole is this? And you find yourself shooting each other. And then, well, now I'm going to shoot his friend. And then now I'm going to shoot his friend. Well, now I'm going to shoot his mama's house. Now I accidentally stray bullet hit his kid. Now we can't stop fighting until both of us go to jail. And both of them end up in jail, in the feds. Criminal RICO, indictment. Gang-related activity. I lived it. I saw it. I grew up with them.
An industry.
They don't know nothing about fucking fractional reserve banking. So, and my point in saying that is the Republican Party, if they really wanted to win on a consistent basis, they would become an educational organization and go down into these inner cities.
Oh, now we know why it's the last thing they want to do.
There you
because
go.
of the people that are holding the last of the independent resources. So they're really in league with the communists. The guy that's running, friend of ours, I'm not going to mention his name because we might want to be friends with him someday.
Yep.
His solution for the immigration problem was, these immigrants, we can't really deport them. Listen to this one. You're going to love this.
Okay.
They can't vote, but their kids can. So let's kick the can downstream long enough that me and mine get ours. But, hey, I'll be dead. It won't be my problem. That's not love of country. That's not love of Christ, and that's not love of the Republic. That's self-interest.
Yeah.
And what republicanism is about is given over to this idea, which has become a little bit of a illusion that can be pursued but never attained, which is a community that unifies around the idea of a Republican form of governance. I don't mean the Republican Party. I
Right.
mean a Republican form of
Right.
governance.
Right.
So, man, this was a great
And to
conversation.
end, I want to say the debt is real for us. The debt is not real for them. You understand? The recession proof. The people who have money. It's always been said that people who have great wealth, they love a recession. They get to buy shit for pennies on a dollar
And then walk it up again.
and walk it up again. Okay, so the recession is going to hit you, and that's what we should be fighting against. But as far as the country goes, and as far as Donald Trump goes, and saying, look, give him the $5 trillion, but I'm not giving another single bullet to Ukraine because it feeds a narrative that is an illusion, that's a lie. It's based on a multitude of lies. It's a layered lie that Ukraine isn't Russia. Based on what? Based on when? 1908? Okay, by that?
No, like 20 years ago.
Yeah, but I'm saying, yeah, yes, you're right, 100%. About 30 years back, right? But the whole thing is the fall of the Soviet Union.
Right, 89.
Okay. So you could say the same thing about Lithuania and
Latvia,
all of them.
Estonia, all of them. That's
All of them.
right, Bulgaria, for sure.
Okay. Stop the bullshit. You Ukrainians, you're going back under the thumb of Russia. We're not about to fight World War III out for Ukraine. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine if an extraterrestrial intelligent life form came to this fucking planet 200 years from now, and they look back and we wiped each other out over Ukraine? People are going to be like, what the fuck?
What?
What the fuck was wrong with you people? Are you stupid?
Can I tell you, in closing, a big change since I'm from there?
Israel, they could understand. They go, oh, these people are hopped up on religion and you know, and ideology. It happens. That's why on Planet X we outlawed religion altogether. No religion on Planet Exo.
You're starting
9.
to sound like John Lennon.
But
wait,
Ukraine, come on. I mean, you're talking about a corrupt.
How you say Ukraine?
Yeah.
And every time I say the Ukraine,
Yeah.
because my family was from there, it was a region, not a country, like the Midwest.
Yeah.
Look at the change about how you can get your mind spun up.
The Ukraine.
Yeah, we call it was the Ukraine.
So you're a Ukrainian Jew.
Right.
And in your lifetime, your family called it the Ukraine.
Like the Midwest.
It wasn't a country.
It was a region of Russia. A region. But then it was turned into a country, boy, and there's been some good money made on that scam. You know, we should go another 2 hours soon, because I can tell you who's in on this in the Western Ukraine, and they're not who we think they are.
Let's do it Monday.
I'd love to.
Monday, because I went off the deep end this time. I had to, because this money fugazi. Ooh, there's a reason I went to the Fed.
Well, you know, of course, for people like me that are tied up in it longer than you,
Yeah.
it takes a little while but you know, my peers, they turned off a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, they won't even talk about the Fed, let alone it being a scam.
No, they're going to go look at their phone and look at them digital pixels on their phones, telling them how much money they have.
But when they go to get cash, the bank's going to ask them what they need it for.
Yeah, that's Monday.
This has been another episode of Hebroes. Please call me
crazy.
Thank
you, Royce, for having me on. Thank you
so much. Professor Penn, thank you for being here again, brother. Monday, we'll do part 2. We'll talk about the Ukraine on Monday from the Ukrainian Jew himself.
Great. I'll prepare over the weekend.
Bring a little bit of that Russian language. Just sport that on the podcast on Monday.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Maybe we'll talk about Dugin, too, since we're diving into Russia.
Oh, he's great.
Oh, whoa. Don't say that. Can't say that.
Yes, I can. It's just ideas. Just ideas.
He's a bad dude. He's smart. And you better learn to respect and understand your enemies. Thanks for being here again. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow morning on the Royce White Show, Real America's Voice, 9 a.m. Eastern. Be sure to check out the Professor Penn podcast.
Tuesdays and Thursday nights, 7:30 p.m. Also streaming on Royce's X.
Tuesdays and Thursdays nights, 7:30 p.m. That's it for us. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back Monday. Tune in Monday. We're doing Hebrews again Monday, holding you to it.
Okay, yes, sir.
We're
Thank you.
doing Hebrews again Monday. So again, we appreciate your viewership and listenership. TireGet.com. Visit if you need tires. FreePeopleRadio.com if you want some merchandise. Royce White for Senate. I'm going up against the neocon establishment. And, you know, I'm as America first as it gets.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Very
We
much.
appreciate it. Godspeed. God bless America. The fight continues. Hope you enjoy the weekend. Have a good one. Everything's up on the bar. We're all in. We get to decide. Do you want to live on your knees or do you want to die on your feet fighting? That's the decision you get to make now.